Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Ragucci, and this is Replay, Relive, and Reexperience, or as we like to call it, Re3s, where you guessed it, we do all three of those things to our favorite video game franchises. In this edition of Re3, we'll be replaying, reliving, and re-experiencing Bethesda Game Studios' Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion to celebrate the release of the remaster, and of course, the anticipation for Elder Scrolls 6 in the far future. But here to continue our journey and save Cyrodiil from the forces of evil, my co-host, the Triple Threat, Chris Trio.
I am ready to take on Mehrunes Dagon, Gooch, and to fight back the realm of Oblivion.
I will get ahead of it and say the end of Oblivion is good.
Yeah.
Like, Skyrim's ending is just like, you're done.
I mean, I don't know. I think you kind of have
you beat Alduin. Bye.
When you say that's kind of what I'd actually feel like, that's a little bit more like this is a little less anticlimactic because like you don't actually really fight Mehrunes Dagon.
True.
You know what I mean? Like in that,
did you stand outside and kind of watch him? Like he doesn't move.
No, he doesn't.
Like
I stayed inside the thing. Yeah.
And he hits some guy and flies up into the air. But I'm just like, this looks cool. I think the longer you stand here, the more the magic.
Of course, because it's just
away.
It's the same.
But we did want to get into some housekeeping because between recording episode 3 and episode 4, somebody very integral to the Elder Scrolls. I'm not sure that he worked at Bethesda currently.
I don't think so either. But I don't
Julian
know that
LaFay, who is one of the original coders,
I think so. And like apparently, I can read out Bethesda's
thing
if you want.
Go for it if it's not too long.
No, it's not. So this is a statement from Bethesda. It's with great sadness we learn of the passing of Julian LaFay. He was the driving force in the creation of the Elder Scrolls and the foundations of Bethesda as a game studio. Simply put, without Julian, we would not be here today. If you had the opportunity to work with Julian, you were blessed to know a one-of-a-kind force of nature who pushed everyone to create something special. His work and spirit will live on both in our memories and in our game. And that was from Todd Howard.
Yeah. It's interesting because, I mean, like, I think within the next 30 or 40 years, I mean, I think he was, like, in his 50s.
Yeah, he was pretty young.
Yeah, and he had cancer. So, like, very sad circumstance, not interesting.
Yeah.
But, like, we're going to be approaching a point within the next 30 to 50 years where, like, the original game devs start dying.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a weird thought to think about, like...
Kojima will be gone.
That's what I was just going to say. Like, Kojima is, I think, in his 60s?
I want to say something like that, yeah.
Imagine, like, I mean, more so, like, imagine Miyamoto dying. I mean, it's going to be big. I mean, he's already not making games, but obviously a big creative head still in Nintendo. Like, he's going to probably be one of the first.
Right, yeah.
And Julian LaFay, I guess if you know the inner workings of Bethesda, you probably know that name, but like not a huge dev by any means, but it is interesting to kind of like get to the point where the industry is getting old enough.
He seems like a rather important dev in the way of just like, so he held,
but he's not a Todd Howard. He's not a face.
Right. He's not the face. He could be the Jim. He could be the Kirby to his Stan Lee, if you will.
Sure. Maybe.
But so apparently he held the role of chief engineer and led the company through the creation of some of its seminal games, such as the Terminator, Arena, Daggerfall, and Battlespire. The Elder Scrolls deity Julianos is based on Julian. That's actually interesting. He briefly worked on Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind as a contractor after quitting Bethesda in 1998, and then he briefly worked for Sega and was also involved in the production of, I don't know what this game is, Skullgirls.
Oh, it's a fighting game.
Yeah.
Wow. So he's been out for a while. But didn't even work on this game.
Yeah, so in 2019, LaFay co-founded an independent game studio, Once Lost Games, with former Bethesda developers Ted Peterson and Vijay Lakshman, I'm totally butchering that, and announced they would be working on a new open-world role-playing game called The Wayward Realms, which would have served as a spiritual successor to Daggerfall. Interesting.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, indeed.
So we're going to start out by, we were talking a lot about the Dark Brotherhood last week, but we're going to get into it because I was right before sort of the big Matthew Bellamont betrayal, which is really the biggest part of the guild and definitely one of your favorites. If I recall you saying, I have some intro about the Dark Brotherhood, but it is kind of like, it's exactly what you think it is. They're a secretive brotherhood of assassins. They worship the Night Mother and Sithis. They come from like the Morag Tong, which is
Does it say how long they've been around? Excuse me.
No. Like going in depth with some of these factions, I'm actually surprised about how little
there is
on the background. It's like it like like the structure is like, okay, they're regional sanctuaries. They're led by a speaker or a keeper, depending on the era, and then there's like ranks below them. It's like nothing super interesting. Obviously, to summon the Dark Brotherhood, that key ritual is you have to request a kill, you have to perform the Black Sacrament. Dark ritual involving a skeleton effigy, nightshade, and a dagger, human flesh, while chanting a specific incantation, and that's sort of how the contract begins, which is pretty interesting, because it sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, it does.
Killed.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to talk about the Dark Brotherhood the way you get introed into it in Skyrim, as opposed to this game, where it's kind of just like diegetically, once you kill somebody, the process begins.
Yeah.
But in Skyrim, it's a kid is doing the Black Sacrament, and that sort of gets you involved.
Yeah, you almost have to hear about the kid trying to do the Black Sacrament, and that's what like leads you to it. Yeah.
So,
I will admit, playing this has made me want to like jump right back into. I was playing Starfield last night.
Playing it or talking about it?
Just talking about it and playing it, because I did finish Oblivion last night, but.
Shivering Isles.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I want to do this to get this out of my brain, and then like really make room for just all of.
I'm excited to talk about that actually a lot.
Yeah, I've only played Shivering Isles like once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, and to confirm, this is the penultimate, and then we're gonna do one more episode. The 5th episode will be Shivering Isles, and then we'll be done. What do you think about the Matthew Bellamont betrayal and sort of the reveal that he sort of like planted himself in the Dark Brotherhood, and like all your contracts are hunky dory, and then there's this
like one
moment.
switch. Yeah. I like the again. I think the Dark Brotherhood story in general is like pretty interesting. Even some of the contracts, a lot of them are like they're kind of pre-set up for you, and you can just go and do the one thing, like the one where you unhook the thing from the wall and it falls on the guy and things like that. But
yeah,
I think the overall story is interesting, and I like the idea that there's this inner, double agent, if you will, like that just starts fucking with your contracts, and then by the end,
fucking with them all.
Yeah, and by the end you realize you've just been killing everyone in the Dark Hand. Yeah, I think that works very well, especially for a Dark Brotherhood storyline.
Yeah, because his mom was killed by the Dark Brotherhood, and then he becomes a new member, rises through the ranks, becomes a silencer of the Black Hand, and then he basically like pretends to say that there's a traitor in that sanctuary. But I like how the characters talk about like that they know that there's a traitor. Like people have been dying all of a sudden, and like they think there's a traitor. I like how like from the initial, once you get to the sanctuary, like that's being talked about.
I also do how like this kind of juxtaposes with Skyrim in the way of like this is the Dark Brotherhood more at their peak, where they seem to be a big organization that's like well like organized and centralized in Cyrodiil, but then you get to Skyrim, which is the 4th era, like 300 years later, and they are very much in disarray. They don't have any communication with any other sanctuaries. When the Dark Brotherhood and Cicero shows up, the leader of the sanctuary is actually kind of annoyed. So I like seeing this era of the Dark Brotherhood a lot.
Yeah. So within my notes, I'm kind of skipping over it because it's a lot of formal information I don't think we need. I think we all kind of get what happens and stuff like that. But the loss of half of the Black Hand and the purification of the Shadenhall Sanctuary leaves the Cyrodiil branch crippled by the end of the 3rd era. And over 2 centuries following the Oblivion Crisis, the Dark Brotherhood suffered severe decline due to the war, political instability, and internal fragmentation. The Great War and riots in key cities like Bruma and Shadenhall cripple their operations. Many sanctuaries are destroyed or abandoned, and the once feared Shadow Scale tradition, the Argonians, who were born under the Shadow
Sign of the Shadow,
fades. And they close that. So yeah, like this is like the beginning of like the fall, because we see the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim, and it's like Cicero has the Night Mother. He's coming from Cyrodiil. He's like trying to establish
it's in
himself.
shambles, basically.
He's kind of crazy. They're like not even like following the tenants. They're just kind of like, we're just killers.
Yeah,
and, like, whatever.
We hear about the contracts. We go do it.
Yeah, there's no Black Sacrament being performed.
Well, they are, but like it's not actually like coming through the Dark Mother, like or the mother,
the Night Mother.
The Night Mother. It's just like they hear someone is doing the Black Sacrament, and they're like, all right, we gotta go.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by 4E, 187. 4 sanctuaries remain: Shadenhall, Wayrest, Corinth, and Falkreath. Internal strife peaked when the Shadenhall Sanctuary fell apart. With no listener, contract stopped, morale collapsed, and most of the members died or vanished. Only Cicero, the Keeper, survived, mentally unstable and desperate. In the same era, in 201, Cicero transports the Night Mother to Falkreath and the last known active Brotherhood cell. So, like, they seem to be it, and that's led by Astrid, who, and then, like we said, abandoned their traditions. The Falkreath Sanctuary, like, is kind of destroyed in the same way, like, gets obliterated, but not by you.
Right.
And then there are some survivors. You become the new listener. The new sanctuary opens in Dawnstar. And, yeah, they kill Titus Mead II, which isn't really relevant to here. But, you know, you do kill the Emperor in that game, which does feel like very casual.
Yeah, I like that whole storyline in Skyrim a lot. I don't think it's as strong as this Dark Brotherhood, but like story-wise, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Dark Brotherhood and the Fighters Guild are, to me, the top two.
It's
Mages
funny.
Guild, I mean, we'll talk about it, dude. I was underwhelmed by that. I just was like, from the beginning, it's like Necromancer's bad. Okay, Necromancer, like it's just like I never really found it like interesting.
See, I like the whole Manny Marco thing, and like that's more compelling. Like actually, the least compelling one to me is probably the Fighters Guild. Like
See,
by
really,
the end,
I
I
found
was
like
just
the
like
Blackwood Company and like the rivalry between the two, and they find out like they're not just like a mercenary company. There's something like nefarious going on, and
I don't know why. Like, really, the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood are the ones that stand out to me the most in this.
That's interesting.
And even like, I enjoy the Mages Guild. I think that one's the most involved, especially just from the beginning of like going to each sanctuary and getting the the
you gotta go to each
recommendation.
guild. That took a while. I was like, holy shit.
See, that's why I liked doing it first, because then you can like as you're going to each city, you can kind of hit like the thing while you're there, or the guild while you're there.
I think I just like going back and I'm like, I feel like I played this entirely wrong. The saving like those beginning guild quests for the end. Like just
that's why I was kind of like spreading them out a little bit. Like I was doing like 2 at a time. Like I do like Thieves Guild and Fighters Guild or what have you. And yeah, I don't know. I think
I tried to approach the game that was like a bit better to digest for the podcast, but I think like, again, if the scaling was fixed, we wouldn't have a problem. You get you just get over leveled like inevitably.
Yeah,
like there's nothing you can really do about it unless you just don't level.
Yeah,
right?
Well, and I mean, like, did you find that you were like fucking people up really easily by the end now, and like you're just
no, it's not even that. It's just like, oh, I'm level 20, and there's some dude walking around in like a Daedric set. Like, what the fuck?
Right, but I mean, that's kind of that's the Bethesda thing.
Yeah, so like I'm capped at like 37. Like now, it's really taking me a while to level.
I think I'm at like 30 right now because like again, I kind of focused on very specific skills, and they're almost at 100 now. So like,
see, and now that like a lot of my main skills are 100, I'm like, okay, like I'm just gonna cast like some illusion spell while I'm walking,
right.
like or something like that. Yeah. Anything else for the Dark Brotherhood?
No. I love the suits in this. I know you were saying you're not a big fan, but I really do like the design in the updated version, especially. I don't like them in Skyrim. They're like weird. They make you look like a stick figure. I don't know why. I just do not appreciate them.
So next up, we have Allies for Bruma, which is optional. Did you do Allies for Bruma or no?
I thought I did. Yeah. Like, what is that? Where you have to like
you
take
don't
out the
have
spy?
to. You don't have to get all the cities to send aid.
Oh,
to Bruma.
really? I did. Yeah, I did do all of them.
There's literally just less people there.
Most of the time, or most of them, I had done already. Like I just had to go in and talk.
Right,
to
you
them.
already cleared.
Yeah.
I only did that for like 2.
Mm-hmm.
So Joffrey tells you that that the Daedra are innumerable, and while Bruma Town Guard are not, he therefore asks you to go petition other cities in Cyrodiil. The guilds and the Elder Council will send temporary relief troops to close any Oblivion gates that open around town. So yeah, you go to each city, you open a gate, or you close a gate outside the town. There are some quests attached to the Shadenhall one, the Wayward Knight one with his son.
Yeah.
But they're all like just Oblivion gates, and it's like, all right, Trio, I'm gonna run through this as fast as I possibly can.
Just zip on through.
I still find it interesting that you have to go to Convoch and ask them, like the one dude there.
I don't think I actually did go there.
Because you don't have to close the Kvatch of Oblivion Gate, from what I understand.
Really? I
Like,
thought
you
you
go
have
there,
to-
you can get Martin and leave.
Even without, I thought you can't get in without closing the gate.
You can close that gate outside it, but you can't, like, so, okay, close the gate.
Yeah.
You go in,
Yeah.
you find Martin, and
then you
then,
can just-
yeah.
Yeah, you just.
But then you have to go further in to, like,
to
clear-
finish the Kvatch. Yeah, no, you can
Yeah.
just leave that. Like,
yeah. I think that's what it's referring to. And you can, to do Allies for Bruma, you have to go in and get the ring and things like that.
No, I actually did go to Kvatch, yeah, because I finished it off and I talked to the guy that was at the castle and I was like, we need help. And they're like, yes, hero. What, so there's cut, I feel like I heard Fred talk about this. There was a cut content where that was supposed to be restored, was the idea, right?
Yeah, Kvatch would eventually get restored. There was an arena there. There was an arena in, like, most of the cities.
Huh.
There were also, like, holidays cut out of the game. The game, they fully, I don't know if there were any assets for it, but there's code in the game that relates to holidays being celebrated during certain days.
Interesting. And I know, like, this most, not Bruma, but what's the most southern city?
Breville.
It's supposed to have, like, a sluice gate. Like, it's supposed to have, like, because, you know, it's supposed to be a port city. There's no way for a ship to go in and out of there.
Yeah.
So, like, there should be, like, a setup for it. And I think they're actually doing it in Sky Oblivion, where it's, like, set up that, like, an actual large ship could go through.
Making the city actually, like, normal.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's Allies for Bruma. Very quick.
Yeah.
Knights of the Nine. You did this a while ago.
I did. This was, like, one of the
And
second or third
Trio,
thing I did.
again, very surprised by this game, but I'm like, wow, that wasn't as much as I thought.
That's a very small, I remember it being a relatively small quest. You just have to go get, like, the pieces of armor, right? And then after you go through the pilgrimage or whatever, right, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, so a strange event occurs in Anvil. The desecration of a chapel and the murder of a priest, believed to be the work of Umril, an ancient Ayleid warlord returned from the dead through Daedric sorcery, as you are told by a prophet in Anvil. The prophet explains that you must complete the pilgrimage of the way shrines of the Nine Divines to prove yourself and repent your past misdeeds. And he gives you the map to do so. The player receives visions after the final way shrine from Pelennor Whitestrake himself, calling them to become the new Divine Crusader and recover the relics of the Divine Crusader. So we were talking about Ayleids before. You were like, what are they? Well, I have some lore for you. Let's talk about Pelennor Whitestrake first. He is the Divine Crusader, an Imperial Knight from the First Era. He fought on behalf of human slaves of Cyrodiil, using enchanted gifts bestowed upon him by the 8 divines at the time. He slew the Ayleid sorcerer king Umril, the Unfeathered, in order to free Cyrodiil from the Ayleid oppressors and ushered in a new era of peace. His victory was short-lived, as Umril's cohorts quickly defeated him afterwards. Dying, Pelennor Whitestrake realized that Umril would one day return and to seek his vengeance on mankind. The Ayleids, also known as the Heartland High Elves. So they are elves.
Okay.
They're just another shade of elf.
Right.
Like
Another shade of elf.
or wild elves. They were the first race to establish an empire in Tamriel. So the Imperial City is an Ayleid city.
All right.
So like, yeah. So that's all ruins of the Ayleids, which is pretty interesting to think about. Like the white, you know, that the White Tower is not built by the Empire. It's an Ayleid structure. And they had ruled modern-day Tamriel for countless years, dating back before recorded history. Ayleidun, their language, is similar to Aldmeris, the ancient language of the Aldmer. The Ayleids were originally founders of the Imperial City, which they called the Temple of the Ancestors. However, their empire collapsed in the early First Era. Much like how the ruins of the Lost Dwemer dot Hammerfell, Skyrim, and Morrowind, the Ayleids have left ruins scattered across Cyrodiil and other regions which were once under the dominion of their empire. Their cities were amazing feats of architecture, ranging from small settlements to gigantic labyrinthian-like metropolises shaped out of whitish rock. They also seem to have a firm grasp on the magical arts, as many of the ruins contain stones filled with magic essence harvested from the sky. They also developed the School of Alteration, as they were skilled in magic such as shapeshifting and levitation. As for their appearance, like all elves, they were most likely thin, lean, and with pointed ears. Their complexion was lighter than that of the Dark Elves, but darker than the Altmer. They preserved many of their ancient runes and Dawn-era magics that pretty much had been forgotten. And there are 55 Ayleid runes in Cyrodiil, and 35 wells, for a fun fact for you. A little about Umaril. He's the Sorcerer King. He's half-elf, born to an alien mother and a divine father. His alliance with Meridia granted him immortality upon death. His spiritual form would live on and inevitably return, which is why he comes back. And his servants are Daedric. So the Aurorans are like Demora.
Like Daedrus,
Yeah. They're unfortunately reskinned X guys. What are the Z? If you noticed,
Yeah,
like,
I think I did actually.
animation.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
like,
Can't do better.
like, great, yeah.
I do think it's funny how you fight two big like crystal men at the end of both of these DLCs.
Oh yeah. Like I was kind of surprised. I'm like, oh, what are the new assets? And like besides like the armor, the sets, like there really isn't. And Umaril, like that's it.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of reskin stuff. So Umaril was defeated by Pelna Whitestrake at the start of the first era. During the human uprising against the Aliens, they're slave masters. And the fall of the White Gold Tower, where Umaril escaped death. He was cast adrift in the waters of Oblivion. Many thousands of years passed before he could return to Mundus, and that's where we are now. So the Knights of the Nine, really simply, they're just an order of knights that started to find the relics of the Crusader. There's really not a lot to them at all.
No.
The order was founded by Sir Aemilianus, a hero of the War of the Isle, and he named the order the Knights of the Nine after the Nine Divines.
You do need the boots though, right, to get to one of them because you have to like cross a bridge.
Yes, and I did it in the order where I already had them, so I didn't worry about it. But I remember when I first played, I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
What am I doing here? Yeah.
Yeah, so we go after the Crusader relics. We got the Boots of the Crusader. We forget from Kinnerath's Grotto. You do like a little test with like a bear.
Right.
The Curious you get from the Prior of the Nine. You just pick that up. The Gauntlets from the Chapel of Stendar and Coral. And those are the gauntlets like you can't pick up.
Right. Yeah.
The Greaves from Lathan upon returning to the Priory once you do the Faith Squire quest. And you get the sword from there as well. Mace of the Crusader from the Chapel of Zenithar and Leowyn, the shield from Fort Bulwark, and then the helm is like the first thing you get. And then you get everything, and you go kill Umaril, and that's it, trio. Yep. I was just like, I don't remember this being just.
It's just so
nothing
straightforward, and and it is annoying because then if you start killing people, you can't use the armor again because then like you have to go on your pilgrimage or something. That part does kind of like annoy me, but.
So since you did it at the start, I think I asked you this before, so sorry for the repeat.
No.
Does the armor just stay low leveled?
I don't think so. I think all the armor just scales with you. I just left
like,
it on the thing.
It's like the best set.
Yeah. I think I just left it on the thing. There's also the Amber armor and the Madness armor and what's it called?
Yes.
So, and I don't know if that's better or not.
I think it is.
But yeah, it's sitting in the chapel for me. I just put it. That's one of the only display cases in the game.
It is the only display case in the game. Everything else just flops around on the floor.
Or you just put it in a chest.
So next up, we're going back to the main quest. We have the Defense of Bruma, which, again, it's more closing gate stuff, but there is some interesting lore details here. Do you have something to say? Or are we just
No, just breathing.
Just breathing over there.
Just breathing.
So we have to escort Martin, Joffrey, and Boris to the Chapel of Talos, and then go to Castle Bruma and speak with the Countess. Tell her the plan, and then she'll follow us back that's where Allies for Bruma ends. So like before you tell Martin like let's go,
right?
That's the stopping point. So if you neglected to obtain assistance from the other cities, your army will just be smaller. It's probably just going to be Bird, Martin, Joffrey, Boris, and some.
Can they die though?
Because
I know Martin can die.
Joffrey can die. Boris can die. If Martin dies, the game ends.
Right,
So like he just can't die. But yes, yeah. It's like it's funny because I just remember this being such a bigger moment. It's a shame. I really don't have a lot of like we'll talk about the reviews at the end, but like this experience has really just realized to me that like Oblivion has actually aged poorly in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it much more by the end. And I think, you do definitely have to take it for what it is at the time. And, seeing all of these systems originate, especially within this, and, they came in Morrowind and stuff before, but seeing that progression in and of itself is interesting to me and fun. And I do think the new coat of paint in and of itself is enough for me to be getting some enjoyment out of it and like kind of getting a new experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a almost 20-year-old game. It feels like it.
I am reminded though that the main quest is way fucking better than Skyrim. Like,
You know what's funny?
I think it's the performances. I don't know what it is. There's something about it that I feel like the main quest is just a lot better.
I will say by the end of this, I've kind of flipped on that. I think it's fine. Like
Really? Okay.
I actually think I like Skyrim's main quests more. It's a bit more meaty, and I do think you get more of like
everything's more meaty.
Well,
in
for
Skyrim.
sure, obviously, yeah. That's.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like you do, and I know people love the idea that you are like the helper of the champion in this, but I do like kind of being the Dragonborn in Skyrim and being like
I kind of like helping Martin.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
And I totally understand that. And I think, there's something interesting and cool to that because you don't see it often. But, I like the penultimate battle with, what's his name? The big black dragon at the end of Alduin. And you go to the realm of Valhalla and all that stuff, Sovngarde and all that. So I don't know. I think this has made me appreciate Skyrim a little bit more, but I do love the overall story in this a lot. Just like the Daedric, armies trying to invade, driving back hell, basically. It's cool.
Yeah. So we'll escort out to right outside Bruma. We got some cheering people, which I found interesting because I don't think that happens all that much. I think that's a unique situation. And we get down there, and Martin goes, "Soldiers of Cyrodiil, the Empire will stand or fall by what we do here today. We will let the Daedra. Will we let the Daedra do to Bruma what they did to Kvatch? Will we let them burn down our homes? Will we let them kill our families? No. We will make our stand here today for the whole of Cyrodiil. We must hold fast until the hero of Kvatch can destroy their great gate, and we must kill whatever comes out of that gate. Soldiers of Cyrodiil, do you stand with me?" And of course, that they do. We fight the troops around the gate. We go over into the great gate, which is essentially just like any other Oblivion gate. It's just structured statically.
Right.
I didn't remember the 10-minute timer, which I think if you're killing everything,
it would take a while. Yeah,
you're gonna get fucked.
Yeah, no, I honestly didn't even notice it. I just
I
ran through.
just saw like at the top. I'm like, oh, there's a timer here.
Right.
Like, I didn't know that. We go in there. We close the great gate. We got the sigil. And we ride back on the battlefield underneath the siege crawler. That was cool to see. I didn't remember that at all. Like the way it kind of looks like a big,
it's like a big
bug.
Centipede almost.
Yeah. And then the way it comes out,
right? It's good.
It blows up. So that the siege crawlers collapsed. The great gate closes. We talk to Martin, who will take the great sigil stone from you and tell you to meet him at Cloud Ruler for the next quest. And we're ready to enter Mankar Camoran's paradise. When we return to Bruma, this is fucking hilarious. I never knew this. This is new information to me. When you return to Bruma from Cloud Ruler's temple, so once you go back there, you will find a statue of you as the savior of Bruma, located right next to where you enter the city from the north gate. The statue's appearance is determined the moment you enter a new cell occupied by Martin. The weapon and armor will be the best quality items that you had in your inventory at the time, not necessarily was equipped.
Huh.
So here's the funny bit. I had the Knights of the Nine armor. I'm naked. Because I guess the game doesn't detect the DLC armor
that's so
as
funny.
armor. So my guy
fucked.
is just sword up in the air, naked.
Nude.
No, he has a bow because I was using all the Knights of the Nine stuff. So my Daedric bow.
And now you're making me almost want to go back and check it. See what it
you
is.
gotta check it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I never knew this.
Yeah, what
and it's
the hell?
weird because you can like push it around. I guess it's just like a character model that's like looking like that. I'm like, this is crazy because like I never knew about that.
Right.
And I'm surprised after all these years. And I think I didn't realize that until making the doc. I was like, what?
Oh,
and then I went to look at it. I'm like, holy shit, this is stupid.
This is ridiculous. Damn. I did not know that at all. Yeah, that's cool.
This next up, definitely my favorite part of the game. I think Terrence Stamp does a fucking fantastic job as Mankar Camoran. It is like a lot of gibberish, like we're saying when he talks about
just
this,
the
but
voice
like,
itself. It's so good. Yeah, it couldn't have been a better cast.
Yeah, so we talked to Martin. I have everything in place for the ritual. I'll open the portal whenever you're ready. I don't know what you'll find in Camoran's paradise. I do know that the portal I create through the Mysterium Xarxes ritual will close behind you. You'll have to find another way back, and I believe that Mankar Camoran acts as an anchor for the paradise, just as a sigil stone anchors an Oblivion gate in place. Kill Mankar Camoran, and you will unmake his paradise. Are you ready? And you do. You go in, and you find yourself in a beautiful, surreal realm, Camoran's version of heaven created by Mehrunes Dagon. And you get in, and he says, "So the cat's paw of the septum arrives at last. You didn't think you could take me unawares?" Unawares.
That's so unawares is. I heard that multiple times in this.
But he says he speaks like in a very like hoity-toity, like
even like other people have
old
said,
English.
We need to
way.
catch them unawares.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, here of all places, in the paradise that I created, look upon my paradise. A Geir Alata in the old tongue, a vision of the past and the future. So basically, what paradise is like a version of like the world at the beginning. Like that's what it's supposed
like
to
the
represent.
primordial.
Yeah. Gaia Alata is just like the old world essentially.
Right.
What do you think about the whole paradise section as a whole? I find it's very interesting. I don't think you expect that when you go in there.
No, it is interesting how you have to make your way through like the grotto or whatever, and you find like the guy who wants to turn on Mankar and all that. Did you kill the Daedra to get into the grotto or whatever, or what did you do?
No, because I didn't remember this. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go check that out because I don't remember like that being an option.
Yeah.
So I did, and then I freed him, and then I killed him, and then he just wanted to kill me, so
Right.
I killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that whole kind of section, it's visually distinct, which I appreciate a little bit compared to the whole rest of the game.
Yeah.
You know, you get into the caves and it's very much similar, but I don't know, it didn't stand out to me terribly in the way of just like, you know, it was kind of another dungeon I went through, and then by the end you get to Mankar and he gives you the whole little spiel and you kill him and we're back. I don't know. It was cool, but it didn't really like stand out to me.
Yeah. So some more dialogue from him. "Behold the savage garden where my disciples are tempered for higher destiny, to rule over Tamriel reborn. If you are truly the hero of destiny, as I hope, the garden will not hold you for long. Lift your eyes to Karak Aguilar, my seat at the pinnacle of paradise, and I shall await you there." So yeah, you meet Mythic Dawn followers in there who are just kind of being tortured, and they're like, "Well, this sucks."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for eternity, apparently.
Yeah. So we meet that Demora Calithat, who offers to help us reach the palace. You either complete the task for him or fight him.
Right.
And your choice doesn't really matter there. Mankar Cameron chimes in again. "How little you understand the principalities have sparked as gems in the black reaches of Oblivion since the first morning. Many are their names and the names of their masters. The cold harbor of Meridia, Periite's quagmire, the 10 moon shadows of Mafala, and Dawn's beauty. The price of Lorcan, misnamed Tamriel by deluded mortals." So basically what he's saying, this is his realm of Oblivion.
Yeah.
Mundus is a realm of Oblivion. Lorcan's realm of Oblivion, and that mortals named Tamriel. And I think there is some truth to that, but I'm not exactly sure.
Well, and they're saying like Mehrunes like originally ruled Tamriel, right? And he was forced out.
Yes.
And it was his plane of Oblivion.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why he can like come back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting, but like I don't think there's actually a lot of concrete evidence if what he's saying is true or not, but like technically yes.
Yeah, I would take it as true in the way of like that's why he can invade again, and that's why they need the Dragonfires to keep him out. So
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yes, you understand now, Tamriel is just one more Daedric realm of Oblivion, long since lost to its prince when he was betrayed by those that served him. Lord Dagon cannot invade Tamriel, his birthright. He comes to liberate the occupied lands. Ask yourself, how is that the mighty gods die, yet the Daedra still incorruptible? How is that the Daedra forthrightly proclaim themselves to man, while the gods cower behind statues and faithless words of traitor priests? Basically, he's saying the Daedra manifest themselves to people, the 9 divines do not. So he's kind of like questioning their godhood.
Right.
There. It is simple. They are not gods at all. The truth has been in front of you since first you were born. The Daedra are the true gods of the universe. Juliana, Stabella, and Sendar are all Lorcan's betrayers, posing as divinities in the principality that has lost its guiding light. What are scholarship, love, and mercy when compared to fate, night, and destruction? The gods you worship are trifling shadows of first causes. They have tricked you for ages. Why do you think your world has always been a contested ground, the arena of powers and immortals. It is Tamriel, the realm of change, brother to madness, sister to deceit. Your false gods could not entirely rewrite history. Thus, you remember tales of Lorcan, vilified, a dead trickster, whose heart came to Tamriel. But if a god can die, then how does his heart survive? He is Daedroth, Tamriel, a Daedroth. This heart is the heart of the world, for the one that was made to satisfy the other. You remember this. It is in every legend. Daedra cannot die, so your so-called gods cannot erase him from your minds completely. Lorcan is in Morrowind. And the Dwemer tried to pierce the heart of Lorcan, and that's what makes him disappear.
Oh.
So, like, somebody built the dagger you get in Skyrim. That's the dagger that pierces Lorcan's heart.
Oh.
And they use it, and they all vanish.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was thinking about this in terms of Elder Scrolls 6. What if the Dwemer came back?
I think that would be a really cool, like, setup. And also, like, I don't know. I'm curious, like, I would assume Alduin dying would start a new era.
Don't know.
Like,
No idea.
I don't know. Like, that seems like a major thing, like an event that would cause an era to change. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Also, the Emperor was assassinated and all that. I think that's going to be Todd's last game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about this. Absolutely.
Well, actually, I think that's not true. I think Fallout 5 could be his last game.
But is 5 before Elder Scrolls 6?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it would be, I think, we haven't heard a lot about Starfield, which I think either they're really there's two options there. They're holding their tongue because they are going to drop a massive update and they really just want to hold off and wait until they're ready. Or they're like, listen, we got to make our space game. It came out. The reception was what it was. We got that out of our system. Let's just move wholeheartedly into Elder Scrolls 6. I would really hope, Gooch, that we get that by, it's 2025. I'd hope 2028 at the latest.
It's so hard to say.
Because it's been in development.
It's genuinely tough to say.
I'm sure, I feel like I can confidently say that it has been in some type of production since that video. Like they have been working on it.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas, like, I don't know, I'm assuming full-on production started after Starfield finished. But I don't know. I really would love it if they kind of did a similar update to the way CD Projekt Red does it. Like, where they're like, we're moving our team, I was working on this, now they're working on this. But I don't know. I think that's a great idea, Gooch. I think,
I think it's a big event
at this point.
That we just know so much about the Dwemer and this ancient race that, like, what if they came back? Like, could you get to play as a Dwemer? What if you could only play as a Dwemer? Like, I think it would be just a real interesting. But then again, I don't think that gimmick, like that big event, like, is necessary.
For sure.
I feel like they could get on without it, but I like the idea. It sounds kind of cool.
God, I would love to see they definitely have that story written out. I would love to get
somewhere. Yeah,
I would love to get that in my hands on whatever that script is, whatever they're talking about, whatever year it is, era. God.
Yeah, so all this dialogue was happening in the Grotto, but we get in the Grotto, we can't leave, we're wearing the Bands of the Chosen.
What are you saying?
What?
Where are they?
In the Grotto.
Grotto.
It
sounds like you're saying garot, like garot, like Grotto, but it's grotto.
Grotto.
Just GR.
Grotto.
There you go. I'm still kind of, it's okay. Continue.
Grotto.
Because you're giving it a gur in there. It's grotto.
You're
giving it a grotto.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
Saying?
Yeah, I see it. I was like, wait, yeah, grotto. Okay. We're learning.
Anyway.
Yeah, but we run into an Almer named Eladmil, who's a Mythic Dawn agent, disillusioned with what's going on. He's like, fuck this, I'm going to help you try to escape. He kind of gets you into a position where it's like, all right, act like a prisoner. I'll get you on the other side. You can free us. You do that. He tricks a Demora. Right. You get on the other side. He can die. He died for me. But he gets back up, but you don't really meet him after this. But he helps you escape the Grotto. And you leave the Grotto. Sorry, Grotto. You leave the Grotto. Oh my God. It's almost like one of those words where, like, I'm not doing it on purpose.
No, I know you are. Yeah, no, it's just that's how you started saying it, so that's just what it is. Like, right, I've been there.
I think that the first time I can actually, I can tell you the first time I came into contact with the word Grotto, it was in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Mine was Hitman. There's a grotto and like one of the like levels that you have to.
So they're in the Little Mermaid world, Atlantica. There's a place called Grotto, but Grotto Pizza down the shore. I don't know if that chain still exists.
Interesting. I've never heard of it.
But I remember Grotto Pizza in like Delaware, like the Delaware beaches. Shout out to Grotto Pizza.
Indeed.
Not really. So you leave the grotto, and Mankar Cameron says, "Well done, champion. Your progress is swift and sure. Perhaps you will reach me after all. You think I mock you? Not at all. In your coming, I hear the footsteps of fate. You are the last defender of a decadent Tamriel. I am the midwife of the Mythic Dawn, Tamriel reborn. I welcome you. If you're truly an agent of fate, I tire of the self-styled heroes who set themselves in my path only to prove unworthy in the event." So we follow the path up to Cameron's palace, and we see his children again, and they're like, "Go find Dad." They're all that bitter, like high elf voice,
right? Yeah,
like that. Like, "You fucking asshole,
moron." Yeah,
come with us. I have waited a long time for you. So we are in front of Mankar Cameron, and he's wearing the Amulet of Kings.
Yeah.
Is Mankar Cameron a Dragonborn?
Right, you were saying that because only a Dragonborn can wear him. Yeah.
Very interesting thought. So I watched this video by Derelith, which I linked you about like the Dragonborns, because it's like, okay, we have the Skyrim Dragonborn who's kind of like a prophecy, but then we have the Bloodline Dragonborn, and like, is there a difference? Like, I think there is. Like, I feel like there's like multiple different types of Dragonborn.
And I think the idea is like, if your bloodline is Dragonborn, then you are Dragonborn. But I think the idea is that, at least this is how I gather it, the gods can intervene when they need to and bestow
one.
A Dragonborn. Yeah. Oh, and like that's kind of what happened with Skyrim, where it's like since Alduin's coming, they need a hero. They know
this is the prophecy, right? Yeah. Right, and there are no Dragonborn left.
Yeah.
And I think like Mankar Cameron kind of like turns himself into one from all his like magic.
You can learn to even speak like Dragon Tongue apparently, because that's what's his name does. Yeah, Ulfric does. Yeah.
So it's like Ulfric is not a Dragonborn, but he
no, he can. I don't think he is, but
he's not. But he can use the Thum.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I have waited a long time for you, champion of old Tamriel. You are at the last gasp of a dying age. You breathe the stale air. You breathe the stale air of false hope. How little you understand, trio. You cannot stop Lord Dagon. The walls between our worlds are crumbling. The Mythic Dawn grow near with every rift in the firmament. Soon, very soon, the lines now blurred will be erased. He's like, this is really cool dialogue. I can understand why he got into this. Mm-hmm. Tamriel and Oblivion rejoined. The mythic age reborn. Lord Dagon shall walk Tamriel again. The world shall be remade. The new age shall rise from the ashes of the old. My visions shall be realized. Weakness will be purged from the world, and mortal and immortal alike purified in the refiner's fire. My long duel with the Septims is over, and I have the mastery. The Emperor is dead, the Amulet of Kings is mine, and the last defender of this last ragged septum stands before me in the heart of my power. Let us see who lasts, as proved the stronger. You have anything to say? Look like you were going to say something.
No.
Okay. Really nothing to say after that whole thing?
No, I mean, I feel like we just covered everything.
You're just gonna, no, yeah. I'm just joking with you. After my monologue, villain, we're just going to fight?
No, okay. Let's fight, yeah.
Oh! Ooh! Falls over. You fight Mankar Cameron and his children, and after defeating him, paradise collapses, and you automatically return to Cloud Ruler Temple with the Amulet of Kings in hand. You found a way back? Does this mean Mankar Cameron is dead, Martin? You did it! And you defeated him. Then you have it. The Amulet of Kings? Here. The amulet belongs to you. Read what's in red. Do you have the guide open?
Oh, no, I don't.
Don't do that. That's cool. I'll just make it kind of confusing. I'll use different voices. The amulet. So here, the amulet belongs to you. Belongs to me? Here, the amulet belongs to you. Belongs to me. The Amulet of Kings. So you and Joffrey have said, if it is true the Emperor really was my father, then I should be able to wear it. Only those of Septim blood can wear the Amulet of Kings. So coming back to what we're talking about. So he must made himself Dragonborn or did something.
Maybe he's a little byproduct. Who knows? Maybe
he was born like 200 years ago.
Right.
I mean, not actually still possible.
Yeah, I was going to say he could still be, a bastard.
Put on the amulet, your majesty. Yes, of course. What am I waiting for? After all, this is my destiny. No man can deny his destiny. You see, you are Uriel's son. I didn't really need the amulet to tell me that. I've known it's true since the moment you told me back in Kavach. But it is one thing to talk of becoming an emperor, quite another to actually be the emperor. You are the emperor, Martin. Not yet. Until we light the dragon fires, the gates are open, and Mehrunes Dagon invasion continues. While you were gone, I sent a messenger to Chancellor Okado. He waits for us in the Imperial City. Why meet Okado? Chancellor Okado is the head of the Elder Council, and the council rules in the Emperor's absence. I don't expect any objection from the council, but we should defer to their authority. Let's go to the Imperial City once before the enemy can recover from Mankar's defeat. So Light of the Dragonfire starts. With the Amulet of Kings reclaimed and Martin Septim safe, under safe watch, all that is left for Martin to do is light the Dragonfires at the Temple of One, resealing the barrier between Tamriel and Oblivion. However, there is still a matter of regal tradition. Martin wants the Elder Council's blessing to be accepted as Emperor without there being official heir. I probably read that really weirdly, but whatever. For one final task, you must escort him to the Imperial Palace, and upon arrival, High Chancellor Okado greets Martin and is officially ready to accept him. When an exhausted messenger comes in and tells us that the Oblivion gates are opening inside the Imperial City walls. The Daedra and the Mythic Dawn have launched their last-ditch effort to achieve victory over the Empire. They have stormed the Imperial City and opened multitude of gates. No sooner than the messenger stopped speaking do the Daedra burst through the doors. And basically, we are going to lead the fight out into the streets, and we're going to get Martin to the Temple of the One. Once we exit the palace, you will be sworn by a battalion of Daedra. When you are ready, lead the troops through the door to the Temple District. More Oblivion gates spewing forth more Daedra, of course. Instead of trying to attack them, just rush around. You don't really need to fight them at all. Mm-hmm. Everyone's getting killed. But we do see a massive red-skinned, four-armed demonic creature wearing spiked gauntlets and wielding an axe. That is Mehrunes Dagon himself. And Martin goes, "We're too late. Mehrunes Dagon is here. Lighting the dragon fires will no longer save us. The barriers that protect us from Oblivion are gone." And we ask, can we cast him back into Oblivion? I don't see how. Mortal weapons may hurt him, but now that he is physically here in Tamriel, they have no power to actually destroy him. What about the Amulet of Kings, we ask? Wait, yes. The amulet was given to mortals by Akatosh. It contains his divine power, but how to use this power against Dagon? The amulet was not intended as a weapon. I have an idea. One last hope. I must reach the dragon fires in the Temple of One. But you said it was no use, we say to Martin. You'll just have to trust me. I know what I was born to do, but I'll need your help. Get me past Dagon somehow, and you literally just fucking
walk by him.
Walk by him. Because he doesn't move, Trio. It's all a fugazi. He's not really there.
Fugazi. What are we doing here?
Yeah, so however you choose to get past him, you get in there. Explains his plan. So the Amulet of Kings is infused with the dragon god Akatosh's blood. And Martin is part of the dragon blood. He may be able to use his joined blood with the amulet and the power of the temple to summon the power of the dragon himself. And he bids you farewell, gasps, and thanks you for all that you've done, and rushes to the atop the dragon altar and smashes the rooftop. I do what I must do. I cannot stay to rebuild Tamriel. That task falls to others. Farewell. You've been a good friend, and in the short time that I've known you, but for now I must go. The dragon awaits. Staring down at the last septum, Dagon menaces him, but Martin stands unafraid. Suddenly, beams of light burst forth from Martin as he shatters the Amulet of King and transforms into a gigantic flaming dragon. Dagon and Martin, now the avatar of Kavach, clash, the two immortals battling for the fate of Nirn. Finally, Martin swoops down and buries his jaws into Dagon's neck, wounding him and finishing him off with the dragon breath of holy fire. Dagon falls, his physical form banished, and the Oblivion gates closed. Martin, however, pays the ultimate price for borrowing the power of Akatosh. He turns into stone atop the temple altar and an eternal monument to him and his bravery. So this is the cutscene at the end. I think like the finish and like he just is like, I got to do this. Like
right.
like it's kind of like, it's destiny. He knows that he was put on this earth to do this. He's going to sacrifice himself so that the planet can continue and humanity or whatever the humans are called.
Well, and I feel like you see this in this like character development of like he's just kind of become accepting of like the divine purpose and being a tool of the gods and fulfilling his destiny. And I kind of like that for sure.
Yeah.
I think that works very well.
And I forgot about the same cut. I mean, I like the end like monologue. I was like, oh, this is like a thing? I was like, okay, I forgot. Yeah. The amulet is shattered. Dagon is defeated. With the dragon's blood and the amulet of kings, we have sealed the gates of Oblivion forever. The last of the Septim passes now into history. I go gladly, for I know my sacrifice is not in vain. I take my place with my father and my father's fathers. The third age has ended, and the new age dawns. When the next Elder Scroll is written, you shall be its scribe. The shape of the future, the fate of the empire. These things now belong to you. That's it. After the cinematic, we're outside of the Temple of the One. Okada rushes to us and realizes what has transpired, and he asks pretty much exactly that. And we tell him Martin is gone, and he goes, what do you mean he's gone? We saw him at the temple. We saw the temple totem explode. The avatar of Akatosh appear. Was that Martin? And we say, yes, he shattered the amulet. The joined blood of kings and gods, the amulet of kings, the divine power of Akatosh. So he's kind of putting together, and Martin's blood too. Then Martin is gone. But the gates are sealed. Yes, sealed forever. Mehrunes Dagon and his ilk can never threaten Tamriel again. Martin is dead, but he died an emperor and a hero to rival Tiber Septim.
Okay, what's your name?
Sorry, Jay fucking just texted me. Continue. Send a picture of LJ, of my little nephew. Sorry, continue.
What's your name, Drew?
My name.
What's your name? What about the Empire? This victory is not without cost. We lost Martin Septim. What an emperor he might have made. His sacrifice was necessary, but it leaves the empire without an emperor. I don't know what happens now. There are troubled times ahead for the empire, but now is not the time to worry about the future. Let's just give thanks that we're alive. The dragon will stand forever as a memorial to what you and Martin did for all of Tamriel. And we are dubbed the Champion of Cyrodiil in my capacity as Lord Chancellor of the High Elder Council. I hereby proclaim you as Champion of Cyrodiil. And you shall, and as a small token of gratitude to the service of the Empire, we built you an Imperial Dragon armor, which is not as good as the Knights of the Nine. So, guess I'm not using that.
Negative.
Sad. So you earn the highest rank possible in the Order of the Dragon, the illustrious order of Imperial Knights that founded by Tiber himself, and it is a high honor. Only 6 other champions have been awarded it in history. And it takes 2 weeks for the armor to get made. And there's a bunch of dialogue about, okay, the Elder Council has to convene. We don't know what's going to happen. No legitimate heir, yada, yada, yada. And there are 2 different versions of the armor, light and heavy. But you don't choose which one you get. It's based on your stat.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
That's how it is for even the Knights of the Nine armor. My Knights of the Nine armor is
yeah,
light.
you told me that.
Yeah.
You told me that. Yeah, I didn't get my armor until I finished like the Mages Guild.
Yeah, it's funny. Like just as I was finishing up Shivering Isles, like I got the notification.
I remember when I first beat the game, I like waited,
just waited the 2 weeks.
Sat there, waited 2 weeks,
yeah.
like a crazy person. So what do you think about the main quest? We're done. Like I said, I mean, we were talking about it, but I really like it. I feel like it's really epic and like. It's just like it, like if to compare it to Skyrim, like it just, I don't feel like it ends as like epically. Like there's something about this that like, I don't know, maybe it's the performances, maybe it's like the characters, maybe Martin is a pretty well written character and he goes through this like prophetic journey and then he sacrifices himself and it's big, climactic, big fucking kaiju battle.
And you're fighting the like forces of hell. Like, I think, I don't know. I think the stakes are relatively similar even for Skyrim for me. But overall, I just like the aesthetic of Oblivion and, this idea of dealing with the Mythic Dawn cult and it's this like this assassination attempt and there's political intrigue and all that stuff. I think there's a little bit more there for sure. And I have a really fucking great time with it. And you know, I do think that this is a bit less meaty than I remembered, even in the way of like the middle stuff. I feel like you're just like, okay, we got Martin. Now we're just looking for the amulet for like most of the game. Then we get the amulet, and then we go to the city, and that's it. I don't know. It's funny, even playing through like Shivering Isles, that feels almost as long to me as the main quest. Yeah. You know, I think it's a bit more like streamlined. But at the same time,
there's a lot
of
fluff in the main quest between like Miskarkind and like the gate stuff. Like it's just like there's a lot of like minutia.
Yeah,
that just doesn't feel like it needs to be there.
I agree. Whereas
kind of pads out length.
Yeah, for sure. Whereas I do think even Shivering Isles, it's a bit more cut and dry and straight to the point, which I appreciated a lot. But no, it was a lot of fun to go back to this and really kind of be able to digest it fully as like an adult. Even like when I played this the first time, it was in probably 2010. I probably played it a few times after, but you know, being able to really sit and just kind of simmer on the story was nice with an adult's brain. You know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah. The adult's brain is always like the interesting part because I don't remember like, you know, having some sort of like, not that I think Oblivion's story is deep, but probably not understanding the political machinations of it or like the, you know, the amulet and how all that works. And Mankar Camoran, I know was like, I'm like, who the fuck was even Mankar
I didn't
Camoran?
remember the reveal at all about like how Mundus was like, that was his realm. That
yeah, because it's like, I mean, I don't think it's presented the best. It's just like ambient dialogue.
Right, it's just well, he tells him, right? Or I guess doesn't he tell you that like when you get to him, Mankar? Don't you have the whole conversation, or is it happening as you're going through?
No,
Paradise?
it happens as you're going. So it's like very easy to miss.
No, for sure. Yeah.
So that's and like point. You know, if the sound mixing is bad, you're not going to hear any of that.
You're not getting it. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say about Okado, because he does become the de facto ruler of the Empire. He is the interim leader since there is no heir or claim to the throne. He attempted to hold the Empire together during this transitional period, but the Empire began to fragment without a strong central authority. Okado's rule was relatively brief. He was assassinated in 10 of the fourth era by members of the Dark Brotherhood. Those specific details of his death and who ordered the assassination aren't fully detailed in the games. His death marked another step in the Empire's decline as it lost one of its most capable administrators during a critical period, and probably how
it continued down into
the Thalmor taking over. So we got two more things to talk about in the main story, which is the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild. We're kind of talking about the Mages Guild earlier. Mankar Camoran, known as the King of Worms, is a necromancer.
Not Mankar Camoran.
Manamarco.
Yeah.
They are very similar. I always noticed that. Mankar
Camoran, Manamarco,
yeah. So, Manamarco is essentially the leader of the necromancers and the cult of worms, and there seems to be this division in Cyrodiil between like practicing necromancy and it being accepted at the college, which seems to be kind of like a big thing. And I guess that's what kind of starts these mages to turn to necromancy and kind of summon him. I don't really understand like the lore of it, why are they doing this? Are they that jaded about it?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, and I thought Manamarco was like out there like machinate, like, you know, using his machinations to get people to bring him back and stuff like that. But
yes, yeah. So he helped found the Mages Guild with Venus Galarian during the Second Era. While Galarian founded the Mages Guild, Manamarco delved deeper into necromancy, and he eventually became Lich, founded the Cult of Worms, which is just really just a necromancy guild.
Right.
Unlike the Mages Guild, which is sought to serve the living, the cult embraced undeath and sought to blur the lines between life and death. Manamarco's ultimate goal was to achieve godlike power through necromancy. During the events of Daggerfall, Manamarco was involved in the Warp of the West, where he became a revenant, a celestial body associated with necromancy. However, this created a paradox where Manamarco existed both as a god and as a mortal lich. He's also the main villain of Elder Scrolls Online, the first.
Oh, really?
The first, like, Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah. Yeah, but I just thought the Mages Guild, like, the beginning takes a while, like, to get into
it's the most involved one.
And then it's just like, okay, like, you start up Necromancer quest. You go on a quest, Necromancer stuff. Like, I feel like the Fighters Guild does a good job of sort of, like, inserting the Blackwood Company a little bit as you're progressing through normal contracts. I don't think the Mages Guild does a good job of that at all.
Well, I would also say that the Mages Guild is more focused on the Necromancy Manamarco storyline rather than even
helping people.
The Fighters Guild is just like
a mercenary.
We're just doing random. That's like I had zero connection.
See,
with
like
the Fighters Guild.
I think like the Rat one is fun. Like I think some of those contracts are kind of like fun.
I couldn't even tell you one of them.
I mean, now that we're sitting
now
here
that you're
talking
saying
about
like
it
the
now,
rats, I'm trying to think of other ones.
Yeah, some of those. Like,
And it's been a while.
Oh,
So.
you go to the orc, the rich orc, and like his daughter.
Right, yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, they do blur. Not that, like, but like, do I remember the Mages Guild stuff? No. I remember like, oh, like you go to make the staff, and that's where the necromancers kind of come out.
Yeah.
And then I didn't remember all like the betrayal from within. Like,
Right.
I don't think I like digested that like all these mages were sort of turning on the circle, and then none of them liked Traven, the archmage. I love how he just like kills
Joffrey's
himself.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is so funny. Yeah, I know. He just has to.
He's the Breton.
Yeah.
He's just the normal Breton. So he's every Breton. Yeah. I like how he's like, yep, I'm going to kill myself to make the Black Soul Gem. I'm surprised I didn't know what Black Soul Gems were.
Well, I think this is where it like originates. I don't think they existed before this. I think this is like the first time they appear.
Really?
The way they are talking about it,
Yeah,
that's what
I was
it
like,
implies.
wait, wouldn't you like know?
Yeah,
how
no,
this works?
I think these are like a new thing at this point. At least that's how I took it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I like the whole idea of like they're trying to counteract necromancy, and like even the name of Manamarco, he's been this guy that's been around forever, and you know you're just trying to follow the breadcrumbs to get to him. Whereas yeah, again, I think the Fighters Guild is more just like you have these random contracts that the Blackwood companies are kind of involved in here and there, and then by the end it's like, oh, it's a culmination here. I don't know.
Yeah, so you didn't like the Fighters Guild.
I didn't. I don't really. Again, I barely even like. I was just like, all right, we're just going to do another like another dungeon or something like that, or I need to go. I don't know. Yeah, none of them really stuck out to me.
Yeah. I mean, the Fighters Guild is really kind of like we were saying. It is just like a legalized, regulated mercenary work, and like your warriors for hire and stuff like that. I like those kind of.
Some of them are more honor based, it seems, but then other guys are in there just like, I just want to make some money.
Right, like what's his name? Maglier.
Yeah.
The guy that defaults and turns. Mm-hmm. But I kind of like it that like that the Blackwood Company is known for like just doing whatever and doing whatever it takes, and they get this like notoriety of like, dude, they'll take any contract and they'll do anything to get it done, and they're like relentless and ruthless. But that probably means they're making more money, which is why people are like,
well, and they also seem to be just stealing money and stuff like that from jobs, and like they don't really care how they're getting it. So yeah, again, ruthless, much more ruthless.
And it's interesting because they're based on like a company of beast race people that were sent into Argonia into Black Marsh.
Oh, interesting.
And then like came back.
Yeah.
And like that's why all of them are mostly Argonians and Khajiits, like, which is interesting. There are some humanoid races, but like they're mostly like beast race,
right? Oh.
So they're kind of like minorities in a way.
I see.
I mean, they are. They're downtrodden. Nobody likes them.
Everyone's very racist to them.
Yeah. There's a lot of racism in Southern Cyrodiil.
Well, it's funny, even in just like I do like the idea. I said this in the chat, like in Morrowind. Like, Dark Elves do not like Argonians. And, like, it fully impedes you in that game. Like, places charge you more. Certain people won't talk to you. Like, I like that idea that the world is a bit more breathing and it actually reacts to who you are in a real way.
The Fighters Guild, if you are an Argonian or Khajiit, they definitely, I think that there's different dialogue with the Blackwood Company once you join.
Interesting.
Because you're one of them. I have a lot of details here, but we're going long, and it's just kind of the story of Mehrunes Dagon. She's the guild master. Her son dies. The Blackwood Company kind of enters the picture. Modron Orion gets frustrated because Danton's not really doing anything about it, and like they start like going behind her back. You get found out. He gets exiled. You keep doing work for her. You infiltrate the Blackwood Company. You find out they're crazy because they're taking extract from a history, which is like a sacred Argonian tree. And the drugs cause hallucination, and I don't think humans are supposed
Like
to
you
take
black
it.
out, yeah.
I know Argonians do, but and you destroy it. And I kind of like the story
Right.
around it. Like I just found it interesting. Whereas again, like the Mages Guild, okay, necromancy, go kill
Big
Metamako.
bad necromancer, go get him. Right.
Right. There's just a bit more intrigue here.
That's fair.
But we reached our end of the base game. All the reviews are positive. So I didn't get reviews of the remaster. I got reviews of, maybe I'll do that for the next one.
I like it.
And do Shivering Isles, but they're all positive. And it's hard to review. It's hard to review it without being modern, because like we're saying, like all the issues I have with it is its age.
Right. Yeah.
It's clearly,
and it's the first one to do a lot of these things. So yeah.
Yeah. So 100 from Extreme Gainer. The bottom line is Oblivion is probably the only game besides Halo that gamers will still have in their drives a year from now. Talk about 20 years from now.
I know, yeah.
And after running around the world for 50 hours, I can see why. Yeah, I picked that one because it was like, yeah, even before the remaster, people were still playing Oblivion.
Well, I mean, and even at this time, like, this was a mind-blowing setup, I'm sure. Like, I have all these dungeons I can go into, and, like, yeah, sure, some of them are probably a little samey, but, like, you've never experienced a game like that before at that point. So I can only imagine.
We got a 96 from GameSpot. Oh, sorry. I think I just copied and pasted wrong. Morrowind earned the recognition for being one of the best role-playing games in years, but the immersive and long-lasting experience it provided wasn't for everyone. Oblivion is hands down better. So much more, so much so that even those who normally have no interest in role-playing games should find it hard to resist getting swept up in this big, beautiful, meticulous crafted world. Why do you think I picked this one? I'm going to ask you.
I don't know, the meticulously crafted part? I don't know.
The Morrowind getting rid of the
right.
harder core stuff,
Yeah.
and Oblivion being simpler.
Yeah.
And I think we're kind of now in a time where almost the opposite.
You might have gone a little too far, right? To the
Yeah, but the opposite is happening. People want more hardcore systems, but at the time, those hardcore systems, like I think, like the maybe the nerdiness of it was just too much.
Dude,
for,
they're very
for your
alienating
plebeian.
for your especially your normal person.
Yeah, and that's
even,
what I'm
like,
saying. It's like now everyone can pick up Oblivion, and like you don't have to worry about that.
And I think, you know, I like the idea of choice more, and especially even like in Starfield, we've talked about this. There's so many choices within the settings to like how hardcore you want to make your experience. And I would like to see that be brought back a bit more, especially in like Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah. The lowest score I could find was an 80 from Edge Magazine. It's debatable whether Oblivion is a great adventure, but it's certainly one of the broadest around, and one that's willing to canvas for a variety of approaches from its players. And I picked that because, yeah, I think it is debatable whether it's a great adventure. I think that is true. And I think that's a most critical thing I could find. But there is a lot to do. The canvas is blank. You paint the picture however you want to approach it. You're able to do that. And that was, again, like one of the first times you could ever do it.
I love the idea, Gooch. There's someone out there that does this, that just gets like a Skyrim or this and just is like, I beat it. It's like, oh, what do you mean? You paid like 20 hours. Like, yeah, I did the main campaign. I beat it. Like you just go in and just do that. I can't imagine. It's just how differently you could play these games.
That seems like a byproduct of naivete.
Oh, for sure. Well,
And
someone
like,
going in that just doesn't fully understand, you know, especially
almost
newer
like
character.
ignorance.
Definitely,
in
like not
in
realizing
a-
how much is there. Yeah, for sure. I'd be interested for sure. But yeah, that's cool. That is cool. I think it makes sense. I do think there's a great adventure here. I think the main story is pretty well-rounded and all that stuff.
I
but
think what was clearly coming to the surface with me is just like there is not a lot of detail in these quests and in these
environments. And like
not the
different-
environment. Oh yeah, in the environments and the dungeons. There's just like it's the repeated same thing. Like there's no environmental storytelling here. The quests are not super in depth. The guilds are not as crazy good as I thought they were. Because I remember like going to Skyrim and we were like, dude, every guild in Oblivion is much better. And like, I don't know if that opinion holds up.
I don't feel like I ever really felt that way, but I do feel like I definitely always felt like the Brotherhood was better. And I still do think story-wise, I like the Brotherhood better. But I don't know. I do think, you know, those guilds in Skyrim, maybe aside from like, I'm trying to think of what really gets the short end of the stick. Maybe the Mage's College. What would you say is the worst guild in Skyrim?
Mage's College.
Yeah, I would say that, and even that's like not like awful. I think I like that whole idea with the Eye of Magnus and going through that story.
But it all just seems kind of like lesser for some reason. Like the companions just doesn't seem to be like what the fighter like. Again, I think you probably have a different opinion about that. Like that you think the companions.
Yeah, I think they're much more compelling than the Fighters Guild for sure. Like especially with the whole like werewolf part, like angle and stuff like that.
Yeah, but again, I think even that's like a bit too surface level. Like you get to be a werewolf, but like there's really nothing to it. And then they added the skill tree that wasn't in the base game because remember with Dawnguard with
you
the
got
vampire,
the skill tree for the vampire. Oh, really? Yeah. The werewolf one wasn't in from the beginning?
I don't think so.
I thought it was.
I could be
but
wrong.
I might be wrong. Yeah,
because there's an achievement in the special edition to like level up vampire all the way.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
Yeah, it does.
You just got to go to one of like the Civil War camps and just grind people down. Yeah.
Fun stuff,
But
Gooch.
that's it. We got one more episode. Really looking forward to re-experiencing Shivering Isles.
That has been my favorite so far. You can tell, I'll just give it a little bit of sizzle. You can tell when they got to that, I felt like they really had their sea legs under them. And like they kind of knew what they were doing, like quest line wise and stuff like that. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Does it have a lot of the same dungeons?
There aren't a huge amount of dungeons in it. There are similar, you got your like burrows that are like very tree sapling inspired and stuff like that.
Right.
There's definitely some repeats for sure, but I didn't find it as daunting as it is in the main game, and I felt like there was much more variety. And I just like the style in the realm of Sheogorath, like the Shivering Isles. It's very cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to just like again remembering that. Like I remember the two towns and stuff like that.
I did not remember the story that well. I knew like
I don't remember the
basics
story,
of the
at all actually.
But I didn't remember
the
like the payoff. Yeah, of like what like the explanation is. So that was actually cool. Anyways, thank you all. If you've been watching with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Network, we really appreciate your time. Excuse me. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Network on your service of choice. We got a Facebook page, Discord channel, which will all be linked down below. You can even email us your comments, questions, or concerns to delconerds@gmail.com. We'd be happy to get back to you. All this information is on our website, delconerdnetwork.com. For Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy. We will see you next time.